It's real out here, Roundup. I'm waiting for my guest to come in with us. Rounduppers. Greetings, class. I am here. I am here in good spirits. I'm a little hot though. It's 82 degrees down here. Got a good interview for you. Hopefully coming up. I'm presuming that my guest got the link. He will be coming on with us in a few moments. He's in Pennsylvania. A client that bought a property, I'm presuming last year. He sent me an email. He's been going back and forth with this subject to thing with the previous seller. So I'm here to share their story with you, amongst bring you good news and bring you some value that I try to do every day based on this coronavirus. I know you guys, I have no idea if people are going to be paying me rent, but I want to give you a discount too. I'm going to go ahead and, since you're watching this broadcast here, Roundup, I love you. I want you to know that I do love you. I do not want you to live your life in fear. As I just flew to Dallas, coming back home to Virginia, traveling all these miles in and out of the airport, rental car, bus, hotel. I'm not sick, praise God. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just saying let's not live a life of fear. And what I want to do is give you hope. So you use the coupon. If you go to my website, you can get 50% off all my stuff as we wait for Quincy to join us. Let me see if he's here. I don't know. I haven't seen him yet. As you wait for Quincy to join us now, he should be here any moment. I'm hoping. Let me see. Let me text him. If you go to the video description, 50% off all my stuff, guys, for the rest of the month, So we might have to extend it even further with that. But I'm just blessed to have y'all. I would be nothing without you guys. The Roundup would be nothing. Quincy, way up, my friend. So I do my best to be on time with our guests. Quincy says he got the link now. Let's see if he can get logged on here. Roundup, I would no doubt be answering a million questions with Quincy on this one. So make sure when you have a question, just put it in that chat box right there, and we're gonna go over them all. I'm gonna hopefully Quincy will be able to answer all the questions. The man did a subject to deal, and the seller has come after him, and I just cannot wait to hear this story. We'll see if the land trust documents hold up. And if you want to get any of my training, everything's 50% off. Just use the coupon code HOPE. Use the coupon code HOPE, Roundup. See where you at, Quincy. Where you at, my friend? See where he is. Thanks for holding tight with me. Is he not looking now? Don't see it. Yahoo. Oh, shoot. Maybe I sent it to the wrong email. Sorry, Quincy. I sent it 2 times. Apparently, something's going on with the email. Do you have... Hold tight, Roundup. Thanks for... Give me a second. Oh, let me do this. Let me see if I can text it to him. Be patient with me, Rounduppers. Be patient with your boy. Be patient with me, Roundup, as we get Quincy on the line here. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but we'll get him. Copy the clipboard. Thanks for joining us. Just give me a few moments. If you're just joining us, I'm trying to get Quincy on here. I don't know what's going on. We'll get him on real quick. We're having a few technical difficulties on my end. Not quite sure what's happening, but we'll get him here. Inbox, link. Copy that. There you go. Roundup, if you got any questions on for us, I'm sure we will go down. Here he is. Quincy's here. Oh my goodness. Quincy.
Yeah, I never used this zone. I thought you were on the Google Hangouts again.
Google Hangouts went away. Yeah, we're using StreamYard now. How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad. Better, as you can see.
Yeah, I see, man. You looking real smooth right now, bro. You looking real smooth. You looking real bulletproof right now, to be honest.
Yeah, well.
What can I say? What can I say? Roundup, introducing Quincy Williams. Thanks for joining us, my real estate roundup homies. Greetings. This is Kris Haskins. And you know, my mission is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Quincy and I met, I don't know, when did we first get acquainted with each other, Quincy?
November of 2018.
It's 18. Wow, time goes by fast, doesn't it?
Yep.
So thanks for joining us, brother Quincy. So could you just rewind time a little bit and tell us a little bit about this deal so we can kind of get an understanding of the backstory where we're at? And of you too. I'd like to know, give me a little bit of background on you, my friend.
So this deal, I just gotten this deal back in November. This was a subject to deal. This was a lady, an elderly lady who she basically was losing her house because she couldn't make the payments or whatever the case may be.
Foreclosure.
Right.
My favorite deals. How'd you locate this one, Quincy?
This one, I sent the mailer out.
Mail out. Still works.
Yep.
Okay. So she called, or I don't know what your website or whatever.
She called me, and then I ended up going over there and meeting with her. I realized she was basically she just retired, so her income went down, and she couldn't make the payment. So I think it was probably behind maybe like $5,000.
Okay.
So I told her that I would not only pay the $5,000, but I would help her, with relocating expenses. So I gave her about $4,000 for relocating.
That's very nice of you to do that, Quincy.
So what ended up happening was she ended up getting evicted from the place where she was. Yeah,
what do you mean? She wasn't living in the house?
No, what I'm saying is when she left I got the property in November. She leaves in December. She ends up getting kicked out in January.
Okay, where she went to?
Yes, correct.
But you gave her $4,000 to move.
Right. She got the place, but then she ended up getting kicked out. I don't know what she did, but she just got kicked out.
How old was this lady, by the way, Quincy?
It's probably around 65.
Okay. All right. So now you have the house. It's vacant. She's moved into somewhere else. Now she's getting evicted where she moved to.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So then she comes back and breaks into the property. Yeah, her and her daughter, her and her two daughters came in and broke into the property. And the only reason I know this is because I was doing self showings. So I had a lockbox on the door, and I had a tenant buyer show up, and they were like, someone's living here. There's no lockbox. So they not only broke open the lockbox, they pried open the lockbox, took the key, went inside, and moved all their stuff back in.
Oh, my Lord God. Now, was the daughter living with the mother when you were interfacing with them before you bought the property, Quincy?
Yeah.
Did you have any interaction with the daughter?
Only in passing, nothing. Just the mother was the one I was talking to.
How did they pry open a lockbox? I can't even get a vision of that.
I don't know. I called the cops. Because I figure it's trespassing. Once you leave, you come back, it's trespassing. But
it is trespassing.
the cops don't understand real estate, and it was so frustrating because they were looking at the trust and they're like, what the hell is a trust? Who owns it? They were
trust. Now bring us up to speed. Give us a framework of what do you mean by they were looking at the trust, Quincy. Help my viewers that don't quite understand what that means.
So what I did was when I took over this lady's property, I took over the property and put it in a revocable trust, a land trust.
So you're in Pennsylvania and we're calling them a revocable grantor trust there?
Right.
Gotcha.
This property was actually in New Jersey, but it was the same thing.
Jersey is okay. They're revocable too.
Right.
Roundup, please pay close attention to this because I'm learning too. Because you never know what a judge is going to say. I don't even know what Quincy's going to say. Okay, so you put it in a trust. What when you show a trust to a police officer, who are they? I mean, what they don't interpret this stuff every day.
They just saw the agreement of sale, and they saw the deed. I showed them the deed.
Good for
And
you.
they were
with the signature, the seller's signature on the deed.
Right. Exactly.
Good.
But they weren't comfortable enough from what I showed them to charge them with trespassing. They had to call their township solicitor, and I had to send over all of the documents to their solicitor for them to interpret it. And I ended up speaking to the chief of police, and what he said was he said he's not comfortable making this call because he said if he ends up kicking these people out and it turns out that they really do own the property, then the department can get sued. And then he said that if it turns out that I own the property, then they can get sued. So they didn't want to be the ones to get these people out, because the previous seller was telling them that this was all fraudulent and that I illegally took their house and that there was still a mortgage on the property. So police officers were talking as if they were like real estate investors. Like they were saying, oh, you can't take over a property if there's still a mortgage. She still has a mortgage on this property. So it was kind of that kind of, yeah, they were saying that you can't separate the mortgage from the deed. And I was explaining to them that I could. I even called my attorney, the attorney who closed the deal. He got on the phone and he was telling them exactly what I was telling them. But what they ended up just saying was they're not doing anything. They said, I'm just going to have to take this to court. So
unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable, Quincy. So you're standing here, you were out of 10 grand. No doubt you paid closing cost to buy the house on top of the 5,000 in arrears, on top of the 4,000 that you gave her.
Right. Exactly.
Damn, I know you were hot. Whew.
Yeah.
God, what were you thinking right now, bro?
I was just what was more frustrating was I would rather a police officer say that they don't understand this and leave it alone. But they were trying to tell me, like, listen, one of the police officers said, oh, listen, I have a rental unit too. So I know about real estate. You're not able to do this. And then he was saying you have to evict them. And I was explaining to them, this wouldn't be an evict. And you can only evict tenants. You can't evict people who break in.
Say that again.
You can only evict tenants. So what he said what I told him was that this would have to be an ejectment. This is something that, like, if you were to buy a property at foreclosure, it would be an ejectment. But even then I told him that that's not the case here, because these people up and left
and broke in
and came back and broke in.
I mean, isn't that considered trespassing? I mean, that falls by default.
Exactly.
Trespassing.
But they didn't want to make the move. So I ended up having to get an attorney.
Hold on, before we go there, Quincy, I want to paint the picture. Roundup, if you're just joining us, we got Quincy Williams in Pennsylvania. Real estate investor bought a house subject to. Seller broke back in the house, moved back in the property, and we want to find out how this thing unfolded when Quincy went to court. You have a monthly payment, my friend.
Right.
What is that?
The monthly payment on that property was about $1,700.
Oh, Jesus. Is that all that do you have utilities on as well, Quincy?
Yeah, but I didn't put the utilities are actually still in the old seller's name.
Oh, okay. Why would y'all leave them in there? Why did you do that?
Well, I just got the prop. I didn't even really get a chance to switch anything over. Like, we just got them out. What was it? Like, I think it was Monday.
Unreal. Okay. I'm talking about before. Well, you have been having to pay to hold this thing, Quincy, while you've been going through all this.
Exactly.
So how many months are we at so far when they move in and you have the disagreement? How many months are you in?
They broke in what was it? January. It was December or January. It was when they broke in. So I had to pay the January and then the February and now
March. Wow. So you're so what is that? 17. So you're almost at $5,500. All right. Unreal. Okay. So they're in the house. Police not doing anything. Go.
So we ended up having to go to court. Well, actually, they brought me to court. They summoned me to court because what happened was the lady who the seller basically she was retired. So I guess she worked for some union. So she gets like free legal advice. So she took all of the subject to documents to one of those. They're not attorneys. They're just like legal aids.
Legal aid. That stuff's free for low income people, man. They're no joke, man.
Right. So they gave her the documents and they kind of they pretty much got her paranoid. They said, this is a scam. You have to get your house back. If anything happens in that property, it's going to fall on you. So that made her, like, I guess, really paranoid. That's what made her end up breaking in the first place. So she ends up summoning me to court for a notice to show cause.
Okay. Break that down from a roundupers that may not understand that, Quincy.
A notice to show cause is just, from my interpretation, it's basically you're bringing someone to court to tell the court that something has been done, something needs to be undone, or something was done wrong, and you're asking for the courts to step in.
That sounds.
So
you got to show your side of the story, basically.
Right, but her notice. So what she was asking for was she was asking for me to be removed as trustee of the trust. She doesn't even understand. Huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She wanted me to be removed as trustee of the trust, but she doesn't understand any of this because, you know, I had a friend who was a beneficiary. So removing me, even if she removed me as a trust, it wasn't
irrelevant.
Giving her ear. Exactly. So this is the first time in court.
Ignorance is a mug, man. Ignorance is a mug. Right.
So the first thing the judge said when we got in there was, is this your signature on this deed?
Who? Are we talking to the seller?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I like that.
Is this your signature? And then she said, yes. He said, so it looks like you sold your property to gentlemen. Yeah. So she was like, yeah, but this was illegal. That was illegal. He said, well, we're not getting into the legality yet. He said, I just want to see who. He said, so this isn't a fraud case, is what he said. He said, you're basically squatting in this property now because you sold this property and you don't have a lease. He said you don't have a clear color of title because he said he said you don't have a lease, you don't have permission from this homeowner, you're just in the property.
I love it, man. I'm feeling so good right now about black ink on white paper, bro.
Yeah.
So you got that deed notarized from your attorney at closing.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing he asked. He said, was this prepared in front of an attorney? That was what he asked. Was this prepared in front of an attorney? So he was just kind of painting the picture that, you know, this wasn't something that was just done on a kitchen table with just me and a notary. This was done in front of an attorney.
I'm writing this down. I'm taking notes.
Now, here's the thing about these judges. They don't understand subject to either.
They do not. Break that down, Quincy. Help them understand that, bro.
They don't understand subject to?
Yes.
So they don't understand the concept of being able to take over someone's mortgage without letting the bank know. People don't understand that. So when people hear about it, they immediately jump to the whole due on sale clause and all of this other stuff. And I'm going to get into that too, because I actually ended up he actually requested for me to call the bank.
You can call them. They don't care, dude. Yeah. All right. We'll get to that too.
So at court, he basically told her that she has to leave immediately.
Did she sign? Hold up. The question, I want to make sure I understand. Did you sign this deed, Miss Seller?
Yep.
2, was this prepared in front of attorney? In front of an attorney?
Yep. And 3, he said, did you accept money as were you compensated for this deal?
Oh, man, I'm loving this. I'm taking notes, bro. Is this your signature? 2. What was the second one, Quincy?
One was the signature.
Oh, an attorney. I got that right here in front of an attorney. And then 3 was, did you get money?
Yeah. Did you get paid?
What do we call that? Did you get some type of compensation?
Compensation.
Okay, go ahead, Quincy.
So yeah, those are the things: the signature, the attorney, and the compensation.
Man, and that stuff we always go over. What do we say when we buy subject to, Quincy? What is your philosophy on that?
What do you mean?
Regarding giving the seller something.
Oh, you always have to give them something because that's going to come up. I always give them. I don't care even if it's $1,000 or $2,000. It has to be something.
Give them something. Round up. Now, are you seeing why you need to give the seller something? You don't want to be it's like Quincy. When I look at him, he's the greedy investor going up against grandma.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give this woman something, then you're done. Hit it, Quincy. Go ahead, bro.
He also made it a point to say that she couldn't afford her mortgage payments because I bought all of the documents that I showed that I paid him. I showed that she was in default. So he told the seller that she can't even afford this house. He's like, so I can see why. He said you can't say that, he said you can't convince the court that you were bamboozled out of your house because you were losing your house anyway.
Nice.
So you can't turn around now that the mortgage is current and then want to break in and try to take advantage of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's a good one, Quincy. Okay, so no doubt they're losing in court.
Yeah. So he told them that he said that they had to leave immediately.
Immediate possession.
He also said that because this is a breach of contract, he said that she's liable for treble damages. So treble damages, from what I understand, is almost the same as triple damages. So however much money I lost, which in this case was like $10,000 with all of the money, from the the rent and the money that I gave her, it came up to about $10,000. So she's on the hook for about $30,000 now.
Wow.
Because it's a breach of contract. I mean, you said you were going to leave, you sold the property, you came back. So now she brought us to court to sue me, and then my attorney countersued her, and that's what she's being held on the hook for now. Good. So that was the first court hearing. He basically said that she had to get out immediately.
Okay. Go ahead.
She didn't get out. She didn't leave.
He just gave you you have the right to possession right now. I mean, doesn't mean that you can go in there and just kick her out, though.
Well, no. Well, what he said was she has to leave immediately.
Yeah.
So this was on a Friday. Monday came around. She didn't leave. So the attorney filed a writ of possession.
Mm-hmm.
And within, I think, about a week and a half to 2 weeks, the sheriff served her. Mm-hmm. Now, she was served on a Thursday. We had court that next day. Yeah. So she showed up to court, and she was trying to appeal the sheriff. She was trying to appeal the eviction.
Okay. Damn, this chick is. Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feeling right now with that, Quincy? How is your gut?
I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, when you spend so much money because I did everything the right way. I not only helped her move, I helped her move into her new place.
You are joking.
Right. And I have all the proof of all that. I even drove her U-Haul.
Unbelievable. You see how people do you, Quincy? I can't believe you let her stay in there after you bought it. You got lucky she even moved out.
Well, it was when I was talking to her, she was talking about having to get some type of money in December, and I just wanted to get the deal. So I figured, you know what? It's just a few weeks. You can save up. I'm helping you move. She was also trying to find a place. That was the other thing. Like if she was going to move out, she needed a place to go.
Wow, man, you're a great guy. Helped the lady, but gave her money. You didn't have to give her $4,000. You could have gave her $1,000, right?
Right.
I mean, you gave the lady $4,000, helped her move. Unbelievable, man. Now she's coming back. Now, was this her or was this a family member, Quincy?
This was her.
I'm talking about the driving motivation and the driving force to get her back in there, because I just can't see an old lady fighting this hard.
I think this was a family member. I think this was her daughter.
We got that clip, man. You gonna let me play that clip of the sheriff eviction?
Sure.
So go ahead. So now you have to file the writ, because getting immediate possession doesn't mean that you can go in your house. If the people still in there, you can't just go in there.
Right. It just said that you had to leave, and when she didn't, she actually came back to court to face the same judge who told her to get out. So now she has to explain to him
for the writ.
Right, for the writ. So she came back, and he asked her. He said, "You came back." He said, "You didn't leave, and now you're asking me to." She was asking for a stay, I guess is what it's called. And he said, "No." He said, "I'm denying it." He said, "I'm denying it. You have to get out." And he said, "The eviction will still proceed."
It's unreal.
Now, the second court hearing was about the mortgage. Now, the judge said that I might be spinning my wheels here. He said, "I didn't realize he said, just looking through the documents, you're taking over someone's mortgage, and the bank is an interested party in this transaction, and you haven't let them know. He said the bank is going to come and take this property from you. He said, so you can win, you can make all of this money, and the bank may turn around and just come take this property.
They might. He's right. They might.
So he ordered that me and the seller come to an agreement to speak to the bank about the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I called when it comes to dealing with like do and tell clauses and stuff like that, you can't really call like their 1-800 number. You got to speak.
Heck no.
Yeah, those call centers, they don't know anything, because I was talking to them and they don't know anything. You have to speak to like VPs and executives and people who are pretty much up the ladder.
And do they care though? I mean, why would they? They're coming to anyway. I'm sorry. I'm just getting excited, passionate about when you're talking. They're coming to work. Are they caring about a loan that's current on payments, Quincy?
No.
Will they even talk to you about this?
Well, here's what I did, because I had that standard authorization to release information, which actually, by the way, she revoked it, and they're able to do that. I didn't know that, because I was able to talk to them first, and then when they called her, she said, "Don't talk to him ever again," which actually went against the court order, because the court order said that she is to come up with a solution with all of us involved with the bank. So for her to do that, we got court on the 17th of April, so she's gonna have to explain that too. But
wow.
I spoke to one of the vice presidents at the bank, and I explained to him the situation. And although she revoked my right for the information, he was very generous with me. He said, in my 15 years, I've never seen my bank call a note due for a simple deed transfer.
Nice.
He said, first of all, we don't even do title searches. He said, the only time that we do a title search is in the event of default. And the only reason why we do that is so that we can alert the interested parties that this property is going into foreclosure. He said, other than that, we don't do title searches.
They don't even have a protocol, do they?
Right. No. I asked him if I can get something in writing that says that they won't foreclose. And he said he can't do that. He said the due on sale clause is in there. He said, I can't. He said, by giving you something like that, I'm actually taking away the bank's right to call the note due. But he said, all I will say is I've never seen a note get called for this, just for a simple deed transfer. He said, as long as the payments are getting paid, I don't see us foreclosing on this property.
This is the VP how did you get through? Is it a local bank, Quincy? How many people did you have to go up to get to this person?
Well, they have a website. They all have websites.
They all have websites. Oh, shit. I mean, you can get in touch with somebody.
Right. If you Google the bank and then just put like VP, you might be able to get. There's a lot. There's not just one VP. There's like a bunch depending on the size of the bank.
Well, is this a big bank or a small bank?
This is a small bank. I actually spoke to what he was. His title was loss mitigation.
Man, okay, but he's not mitigating any loss. There is no loss.
Right, but his job, I guess, whenever someone's about to foreclose, I think that file comes across his desk before it actually goes into foreclosure.
Gotcha.
So that's who I spoke to, because I called one VP and he said, no, you have to speak to loss mitigation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's who I spoke to.
Interesting story. So you talked to them, told them I bought the house. Now what you gonna do?
Right. He said, well, as long as the payments are being made, there's no need to do a title search. And that was pretty much as general as he was going to get.
Yeah. He can't talk to you about the file because your authorization was revoked.
Exactly.
How about your power of attorney? Did she revoke that as well?
No.
So you could just send that over, Quincy, and talk to the bank about it.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, your power of attorney is the backup plan for your authorization. When you get the power of attorney, you can talk to anybody about that file. So make sure you send that over to the bank next, so they have that on file.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do next. So after we did that, I ended up going to the eviction, which was scheduled this Monday, which is funny. They were actually going to cancel it due to that whole virus thing. Mm-hmm. And I went off. I told them, like, listen, like, I'm not going to, like, I was nice about it. Like, it's been like months now. Like, you guys are like, I'm the one that has to make this payment every single month.
That's
like,
a big payment too, man.
Right. Exactly. Like, they're talking about this is going to be 3 months. So the sheriffs and them got there. We were there for about 40 minutes.
Paint the scene for me when you arrived.
When we got there, I actually arrived first. 3 sheriff officers pulled up first. They started knocking on the door. They went around the house. One was knocking on the front door, one was knocking on the side door, and then one was knocking on the back door.
This sounds like a damn drug bust, brother.
It was. When they weren't answering the door, they called for backup. The sheriffs called the actual township police. So then they showed up. There was probably, by the end of the day, there had to be about 15 cop cars there.
This is so bad.
They were alerting they were telling the squatters to come out of the house through the intercom. You could hear that almost throughout the whole neighborhood. There were people coming outside. It was embarrassing for the ones who, were in that house.
We got a clip of that. Let me see if I can bring that up, Quincy. Round up, if you're just joining us, I got Quincy Williams in Pennsylvania, and the house is in Jersey, you saying?
Yep.
How far is that from you?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Quincy bought a house subject to. Let the seller stay in there for a month. Seller moves out. She gets evicted from her place that she moved to. Seller tries to break back in the house. Quincy goes to court, wins the case. Now the video I'm getting ready to show you, Roundup. Oh, man. He is at the eviction process at the property. And don't forget, Roundup, I'm excited to be able to listen until April 1st. You get all my training, anything you want for half price. I'm going to do this coronavirus thing. I want to be a blessing to you. And I don't even know if my tenants are going to be paying rent this come April. So listen, everything on my website is half price. Just use the code HOPE. The video description, you'll see the code in the link in the video description below. Round up. Let me see here. Share the screen. This is unbelievable, Quincy. You too much, man. You real smooth too. You don't seem like you you seem like you that's what we do. Wow. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Quincy. I know that does not feel good.
Nope.
I mean, even though you are right, man, how do you feel, bro?
I mean, it is what it is. I thought it was kind of funny. She's saying I'm illegally taking her house.
I figured she didn't know what the hell she's talking about.
No, illegal. I'm doing something illegal, but your hands are behind your back. You know what I mean? How does that work?
She sounds to me, she looks like the person that was the real motivation behind all of this.
Yeah, I believe it, because that's what they were trying to. And here's the funny thing about court. Court is all about facts. Like, this was my first time going to court for something like this, and this was like the Chancery Division or the Court of Equity. So they deal with things. I thought that they were going to look at this and say, you know what, this lady's on the hook for the mortgage. She probably didn't know what she was signing. It's none of that. When you sign a contract, you are legally, because she actually said, I didn't know what I was signing. And he said, it doesn't matter. That's your signature. Especially because she said, she was also saying, like, I didn't know that my name was going to be on the mortgage. He pulled out that CYS letter and read it.
Yes.
He read it to the court.
For my rounduppers that don't know what the CYS letter is, bring them up to speed, bro.
The CYS letter is basically a letter that explains to the seller that we are taking over this property subject to the existing finance. And if in the event that the lender calls the note due, we are not held liable. We don't have to refinance the property. We don't have to come up with the money. We will be held completely harmless. So this is basically just like a public disclosure that we're not only taking over your property, but if the due on sale clause was initiated, we're not forced to go and refinance.
And does it, I think one thing I was wanting you to say, does it say we're taking it over? Oh, you did say that, subject to the existing financing. Don't bother.
Yep.
Sir, how did you feel? How was your spirit and your guts and your emotions when you saw the judge read that letter?
I was smiling in the courtroom, to be honest. I thought it was kind of fun because that's kind of how I felt. I felt like she's been telling all of these people that I'm just this young guy who just got over on an elderly person. And I was just thinking that when I go to court, the judge is going to side with this lady. And when he just started reading everything that I was reading, it was very relieving.
Man, yes. Documents, man. Documents. How many times have I been called? I've never been to court, but I've had attorneys call me, say the same thing. You stealing people's houses. What do you think you're doing? You out here taking advantage of little old ladies.
Right.
Paper's right here. What do you mean, bro? The paper's exactly right here. I didn't do anything. This is exactly what we told her. Matter of fact, we did exactly what we said we would do.
Right. Exactly.
I am so happy for you.
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I'm glad. The thing is, taking over people's property using this strategy is not something that's common. It's very uncommon. In fact, everyone
uncommon to who, right? Uncommon to who?
To people who are not investors, police officers, judges, and even a lot of attorneys. So when they hear about this, they just automatically think the worst because they look at it as unethical, deceiving, and then they jump right to the due on sale clause, but they don't even realize that there's no reason for banks to call the note due. So yeah, that just felt good to me because everybody always talks about, oh, it's illegal or you're not going to be able to do it or it's not going to hold up in court. It is going to hold up in court.
I love it, Quincy. I love it. Okay. So when he reads this letter, what does the seller say? What is she saying? Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, she said, I didn't know. I guess she said, I didn't have a chance to get legal counsel. And I also think there's something in there in the CYS letter, I think at the bottom, that says that you had the opportunity to seek legal counsel. I think that's at the bottom.
At the bottom, yes, I agree that I had the opportunity to seek legal counsel. I'm so glad. I was nervous when you called me. I'm like, you know what's weird? I was telling my wife, I'm like, I get on my soapbox. You know, I'm like, my stuff works. It's worked for me, but to see it work for other people, man, really, really just opens up the sun for me, man. And I'm like, I'm so glad for you, Quincy. You did it by the book. You used the documents. Praise God that they actually work in New Jersey.
Right.
So congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Yo, oh wait, here was the other thing. I had to actually take it out of the trust.
Go ahead. Why is that?
Because the police officers were first, they said that they didn't understand the trust. They didn't like the trust. They started.
It's not your job. It's not their job to like a trust, though.
Exactly. But they sent it over to their solicitors, which is also an attorney, and they just went through the trust documents and stuff like that. And they just had, I think one of their concerns was like on one of the pages, it says something about like if a trustee resigns, he shall give like a 30-day notice. And because I like transferred it, like I transferred like trustee to like my wife, and it was like at the closing table. So they were just like, did you give a 30-day notice? This happened the same day. They just had a lot of questions and concerns. And they were just like, if you can just put the property in your name, we'll feel a lot better about going after the whole trespassing thing. So that's what I did. I put it in my name. And then I came to them and said, can we charge them with trespassing now? And they were like, no, we you, as of today, you own the property. So the fact that they were in there prior to you owning it in your name, he said it would be the same as if you bought a property at a sheriff's sale with tenants in it.
They really railroaded you. Well, not railroaded you. They really made you do a lot of things to get this thing put together.
Yep.
But you can still get it out of your name, Quincy, and put it back in the trust. Ain't like you got to keep it in your name, bro.
I'm going to do that when this is all over with.
Yeah. So basically, you had to dumb down your business, if I'm hearing you say this right, to prove to people that don't understand what you're doing so that they will assist you in protecting what you did.
Exactly.
Man, that's ludicrous. So I got to put the house in my name to prove to you that I'm the owner.
To make you comfortable. Because what he said was, Mr. Williams, you own the house as of today. I said, no, you guys are comfortable with acknowledging that I own the house as of today.
That's true, man. What did they? I mean, obviously, you can't. You got to stroke their ego. You got it. I mean, you don't want to.
Right. It's just, I mean, it was just a battle that had to get dealt with in the courts.
Yeah.
She's been coming to court. She doesn't have an attorney, obviously, but she doesn't have an attorney. And
that's because nobody's going to represent her, Quincy. Who's going to represent her with those documents?
No, they're not. She's been trying, and she's come to the court and said that these judges want these attorneys want like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to even look at this.
I thought she had legal aid.
That legal aid, you can only use that one time, and they're just there to give advice. They're not coming to court and representing you.
Shit, I had them coming to court against me. Well, in Virginia, I don't know if they'll come up there, but I've had them battle court cases.
So it's probably just not a free thing then.
I don't know if the lady paid or not. But anyway, 40 minutes. Quincy, final thing before we get to some. You got time for some Q&A? You got to let my roundup get some questions in, bro.
Yeah, I got time.
Let me ask you, is everything shut down out there? My kids out of school. Every store is closed. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, everything is shut down. I remember I said they were going to shut down they actually shut down all the evictions after the one that I did, after getting me out of the house. So I was really lucky.
God was on your side on this one, bro.
Yeah.
God was on your side. Round up, get your questions in there in that box right there. Listen, half off of all my training. Just use the coupon code HOPE to the end of the month. Everything's half off, man. I want you guys to get out there. I promise you, this is where money's going to be made over the next few months. Good God, money's going to be made. Hey, my beautiful family. Round up, get your questions in. Quincy, thank you so much for hanging out with me, my brother.
No problem.
82. Patrick Bet David, that's going to be a few weeks on that one, my friend. Hey, Bubba, you come say hello. Dairy Queen, huh? It's like 80 degrees. What is the temperature up there, Quincy?
Like they feel the cup right here, then they feel the ice cream right here, then it melted everywhere.
Really? I bet it was good. You can say what up.
72 degrees.
They had a blizzard. They filled it up over the top. You can say what up.
With the
You're crazy. Round up. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. He had to evict the tenant, babe. Oh.
Wasn't it too?
That's right. Evict the previous homeowner. You got an eviction in 30 days. Tidal wave. How did you get evicted in 30 days? I don't think you did that in 30 days, did you, Quincy?
Is she talking about how you get evicted in this? I think she's talking about when they moved into the other place.
Oh yeah, that is true. What happened with that?
So what she did was that woman that you saw in the video, she moved in. It was only supposed to be her on the lease. So she moved herself, her daughter, and her other granddaughter in, and then they were running some type of like business in the basement and stuff. So the landlord just called it a breach of contract and asked them to leave.
You're done. You're like, we'll come after Quincy. What'd you say?
I said they weren't like formally evicted.
Oh, okay, yeah, they broke the contract. KFC, cops saw this as a civil dispute. That's true. That's what happened to me. I had people move in my place. The cops, they don't help you.
Right.
It's not their job to help. They're there for criminal, not civil. I can't stand it. It is not fair.
I asked the officer, I said, so if I sold you my house and then I come back 2 months later and I break in, I said, that's not trespassing. He said, well, the property was vacant. He said, had you moved all your stuff in and moved your family in here, then it would have been different.
Unreal, man. Unreal. Hey, babe.
Hey.
Jamal wants to know, did they deed the home over to you while they knew they were getting evicted? Or maybe they knew they were getting evicted from the other place too.
So they deeded the home over. No, I had the property before they got the. So basically, I got the property in November, and then they ended up getting their place in about, I think it was like the end of December, early January, and then they ended up getting kicked out within like a few weeks.
Yeah, I got you. Right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Kris, yeah, 1,700 is a beast. Are you going to go after the lady for the money, or are you going to just say, you know what, I'm done with this?
I'm going after her. I'm sorry. I tried. The thing is, if she wasn't so like ignorant and so like grimy about it, that would be one thing. I would have much rather her say, listen, Quincy, I'm going through tough times. Could you have done, can you do something for me?
Let me move in for a month or two, right?
Right. But for you to keep they broke in when you not only did you break in, but you're costing me a bunch of money. You're ignoring my calls and stuff like that. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, they deserved it. Hey, that's funny you mentioned that. If they would have said, Quincy, you know what, can I just pay the mortgage while you show it? I mean, I'm no doubt you would have been very accommodating to what their need was.
Right.
Crazy. Red Sox, hate to break it to you, but they're not evicting out old ladies. Oh, he's already evicted them.
They're already gone.
Lucky.
They're already gone.
Lucky.
I was actually lucky. They evicted them that same day. I mean, they evicted them the same day that they stopped all of the evictions.
Man, you lucky. You lucky, brother. You are so lucky. Chris Monroe, that judge was woke.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you always close with a real estate attorney. That's right. Well, sometimes, I mean, I have done them both, but you can tell, man. You need to have an attorney on some. That's why Ron LeGrand suggests doing a mirror wrap. You don't want to do a mirror wrap on this. The lady tried to foreclose on you. You're done.
Yeah.
That'd have been nasty. I'm glad you didn't do that. Red Sox fan, what was the consideration you gave her at closing? Good question.
4,000.
Yeah. 4,000. There you go. Yep, we just said that, Chris. Were you compensated? Yes.
That's right.
She is in so much trouble. Round up, get your questions in. This thing just clicked off on me. I'm sorry, man. Sorry about that. I can't even find out where was that. Oh, here we go. Consideration. That's right. That was consideration. Thank you for your time, Quincy. Round up, get your questions in. Quincy just had to evict a seller that broke back in his house. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The elder thing from Pennsylvania. I think you suggested Quincy. Oh, yeah. You got? Do you have a real estate attorney you can suggest, Quincy, for people up there in Pennsylvania?
Absolutely. Paula, I can give you his phone number.
Wow, that's nice. Go ahead and drop it on him, brother.
Attorney Paula Bell. He does subject 2s. He does land trust. He does all of that.
Wow.
His phone number is 570-504-0880.
570
504-0880.
Paula, what's the last name?
It's Paul
Oh.
LaBelle.
How did you find this person, Quincy? I remember you were pulling your hair out trying to find an attorney that would close your subject to deals. I'm surprised you still got hair, bro.
I remember I called like 30 or 40 attorneys who said that I couldn't do the subject to. So he actually lived by me. I actually just popped up, just walked into his office, and I sat and explained, subject to. He's never heard of it. And he's been an attorney for over 40 years.
This guy?
Yeah.
You had to teach an attorney, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And it was cool because usually a lot of attorneys don't like that. They're not going to hear that, they're going to believe that there's nothing new under the sun in real estate. They're the ones with the degrees. But this guy actually sat and listened, and he was like, well, I'll be damned. He was like, wow, you really can do this. And he's closed 3 of mine.
Good for you, man. I'm so happy for you, man. I'm just so happy for you.
And he's up here by Scranton.
Okay. Can't get evicted. Rent, tidal wave. Any questions for Quincy here? We'll go ahead. Chris Monroe, do you still have the limited power of attorney, Chris, that comes with the document packet?
Yep.
Good for you. Yep, you can use that. KFC, what state is this property in?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. James, so cool. It's true what I've been teaching. Oh, Jesus, it's actually true.
Yeah, it actually is. I was a little nervous. I was thinking when I got in the court, I'm like, man, if Chris...
Who is this Chris guy? Go ahead. What were you thinking, dog?
I was thinking, I'm like, man, I hope Chris's documents held up, man. I paid good money for these. Yeah, we're cool. I'm still here. It's legal, guys.
I know you were shaking, man.
Yeah.
Chris, I depended on a stupid dude I met on the internet. I thought about you, man. Coach be admonished parties, doing sell clause. Wu-Tang. What in the world? Can you sell the house on the subject to?
Yes.
You better not, man. I'm gonna come get you if you do, bro.
You can, but I won't.
Yeah. Yes, it's Quincy, one of my students. Not a inner circle member, but we had a few consultations.
I bought a few packets here and there. I would
Yeah.
consider myself a trade student or something.
That's cool. Yeah, man. We talked several times. Yep. James Funk wants to know about the insurance. What are you doing with that in the seller's name, Quincy?
I took out my own insurance policy. Her insurance is still escrowed with the property, so
You just kept it.
yeah. So I just kept hers, and then I just put an additional one on mine.
Yeah, that's what I did. Depends on how much equity do you have, Quincy?
None really. She only had the property for like 2 years, so.
Okay. Jamon, what is the fair market value of this home, Quincy?
Probably about 210,000. She owes about 198.
There's nothing there. Tidal wave. Was she arrested? We saw the handcuffs. Were they just bringing her out and dropping them off somewhere?
Yeah, they were arrested because it took them about 40 minutes to come out of the property. So they ended up kicking the door in, actually.
Wow. Oops, sorry. You're not brother. Okay. I mean, I don't know if you're a female or male. Sorry. Landlord is being dangerous. That's true. This could be dangerous, Quincy. Were you nervous about somebody retaliating against you?
No. I mean, because I've been going back and forth with the chief of police in that town, I was able to talk to him, and I already let him know about it. So he said that he would just have his officers just, be around there in the area and just keep all of that in mind. Right now, I'm having a cousin just stay there right now until we get the property rented.
Gotcha. I'm not trying to disrespect. Good gracious, they kill. I didn't know I don't know if you're a male or female on here. Oh yeah, it's a good one. Kofor, how much did you spend in legal fees, Quincy?
Still spending. Right now, we're at about $4,000 or $5,000, but it's still climbing until this is over with.
I thought it was over. What else do you have to do now?
I'm still suing her.
Oh, for the third, 3 times.
Yeah, we didn't even really get to talk about because she violated a few different things. She's not only did a breach of contract, but I'm trying to come after her for all of my attorney fees and stuff like that, because this is actually a frivolous lawsuit that she brought against me.
She's just mad, bro. The daughter's mad. You think you're stealing my house. KFC, the trustee is the legal owner. Can the trustee take the action? I guess you were the trustee. Why were you the trustee, by the way?
I made myself the trustee and the initial beneficiary, and then I just made my wife the trustee. But the trustee is not the legal owner, isn't it the beneficiary?
Well, the trustee could sign for the...
Yeah, but they'd be the manager. They wouldn't be a legal owner.
Yes. Joel, would it have been better to do a rap instead of a subject too? No way. This lady tried to foreclose on him then. Well, he's going to be looking real crazy.
Oh, that was the other thing. When I spoke to the bank, I said, listen, can she be spiteful and call and say, listen, I want you to foreclose right now. Someone stole my house. The deed's not in my name. Can we foreclose right now? And he said, no. He said what they would do is they would offer her a deed in lieu, but because she doesn't have the deed.
She don't even know it.
So he said, so she's stuck. So there's nothing that she could do.
Yeah. They need that 3,000 to 4,000 to go through. They should, go through. They should get their own land trust. What's up, Charles? What's up, my friend? They were petty. Yeah, lunch day sound like they were just being petty. Did she get arrested? Yes, he just said that. As much as you did for this lady, I'm like, man, this is crazy.
They're homeless. Well, they're not homeless. They're in some type of emergency housing kind of thing. I think they got vouchers or something to stay in a hotel.
Either way, you ain't got to deal with them, right? Abundant capital. Did you ever consider giving the property back to the seller if they were to pay you back all the money you have spent, making you whole? It's a good question, Abundant capital.
Great question. The answer is absolutely not. No, I wouldn't do that because there's so much. That property, the mortgage is $1,700, but the rent in that area can go for about $23. So the property, like I said, it's almost new because it's only, she's only had it for 2 years. I didn't really have to do anything to it. So, it's a great area, great rental market there. So I wouldn't have ever sent it back. Plus, how would she even pay me back? She can't pay her mortgage. She couldn't pay her rent somewhere else. I would have to try to get a judgment and attach it to what? She doesn't own anything.
She don't own nothing. Those type of people. Yeah, man. Good Lord have mercy.
Plus, I'd want to get paid for my time. This has been like months for me to get all of that money back. We're talking $10,000, and then what about
on top?
Time, right?
Yeah. Snickers, how do you break into a house that you? How do you break into a house that you sold? Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. But she didn't think that. Quincy Roosevelt, great job, Quincy. That's what I said. You are inspirational. People are going to be themselves, but never let them change who you are. Proud to be a fellow investor.
Thank you.
That's
Greatly
a good one.
appreciated.
We're not actually taking over the mortgage. Seller remains responsible for the mortgage. That's true. Just take over the payments, right?
Taking over the payments.
Sozo, do you think the cops would have reacted differently if the shoe was on the other foot? I guess meaning that you were the owner? Or you were the owner?
If the shoe was on the other foot and it was me who broke in, I probably would have been arrested. Actually, it's funny. I actually asked the cops. I said, so let me get this straight, because we actually had one of the neighbors come out. This very, really old lady, sweet old lady. Her name was Karen. I told her, listen, I said, so if I walked into Karen's house right now and I sold her house and I broke in, he said, will you be walking away in handcuffs right now? Told me that to my face.
Good Lord have mercy. Red Sox fan, Chris, how do you think coronavirus will affect people buying property via lease auction? They won't have the big down payments. They're going to use their tax returns to live on, and then we'll get out of this thing in a few months. Jerry, are you going to still be buying subject to Quincy? Jerry Smith wants to know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, listen, the train can't stop for one bad apple.
Good for you. I'm glad you're not. This is not hurting your spirit on that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Propelio? Haven't used them. I need to get in touch with them. They contacted me. Al Forbes, how did you find the property? I think he went over that. You want to tell him real quick?
Yeah, I did a direct mail. I just put a mailer out.
Yeah.
What I also noticed, what you guys should start looking into, is doing newspaper articles.
You mean the We Buy Houses?
Yeah, well, if you could put something in, I didn't realize how many people read the newspaper. So if you can find a lot of people who are, elderly, who are going
older.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones you could, target them directly, because they're the ones that read the newspaper the most.
It's weird how they read the paper, right? The older community.
Mm-hmm.
Max Vester, what you closed with attorney? What needed to be done for a subject to do with the title company?
There wasn't a title company involved.
Gotcha.
Attorney. Typically, you're not going to get a title company that wants to do something like this, because they kind of just want to give you title insurance, and they not only not understand this, but they're not willing to put their name on something like this. Yeah,
and what's crazy is it's not like this situation. All it is a deal. I mean, it ain't like it's a big deal to me, in my opinion. Christina, do my docs work in Texas? Absolutely. Get them 50% off to the rest of the month. 50% off everything roundup. So yeah, buy a new door. Oh, do you have to buy a new door, Quincy?
Yeah, I sure do. I told them. I mean, they asked me. The police officers asked me. They said, "Listen, we can try to talk them out and do whatever." And I was just like, you know what, just get them out, because if they weren't answering the door, they weren't answering none of the things I said. I just want them out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they did.
Quincy, do you do cold calling? Mike Carey wants to know.
Absolutely, all the time. I also knock on the doors and speak to them directly. You'll get a lot of deals that way.
Mike, did the home have equity? He answered that one already.
Nope.
No equity. Wow. Jerry wants to know a good question. Why would you waste your time why would you waste your time suing her, Quincy, if she's broke?
Well,
there's no doubt.
If I can get a bank levy, or if I can get a judgment, then I'm going to levy something and I just want to get something back for wasting my time. I might not get the whole thing, but I know that she has like Social Security and what do you call it, Social Security, and she has a pension. Now I know you can't level Social Security, but you could levy a bank account. So
gotcha. If he gets a judgment, you can write it off on your tax returns. The ultimate bargain is saying.
I never knew that.
The Vegan investor. Good job. He's on your side. Sneakers? Do you have someone living in there now?
Yeah, I have one of my cousins occupying the property now until we get someone in there.
Gotcha. Carey Stringfellow, if the seller is still responsible for the mortgage, wouldn't that create some erratic behavior?
You just saw that. Yeah, they just did all of that because she was still. That was her problem. She said that she was under the impression that this would be off of her name. She thought that, I was somehow getting this, that I was somehow like assuming the mortgage. So when she realized that I wasn't, then, she broke back in, which was erotic behavior.
Didn't like that. Kwame, is it safe to say Paul closed the subject 2 deals in New Jersey?
Yes, he won't be able to represent you. He didn't represent me in this. I had to go get an attorney in New Jersey
Litigation.
to represent me. Yeah, but he wouldn't. He'll be able to do all of the documents. He's actually able to do them in any state.
Wow, that's
He
cool.
just won't be able to represent you, but it still looks good because on the paperwork it'll say that he prepared those documents for you.
Nice. Robel, America's worst nightmare, an educated black man. Way to go, Quincy.
Thank you. It's crazy. When I was going in there and speaking to the police officers, like I could tell that they were just a little upset because I was like, no one wants to be a student. I'm sitting there teaching them because they're sitting there saying, oh, you're going to have to evict them. And I had to explain to them, no, it's going to be an ejectment. They're like, no, it's an eviction. Then I was telling them how I can take over the mortgage. And they're like, no, you can't do that. And I'm just like, listen, I was explaining it to them and I can just tell that they didn't want to learn from me. They just wanted to tell me it and then that just be it.
Mm-hmm. Such is life. Sounds like their problem. Sozo, can you cut your court costs down knowing that you will not collect?
Yeah, I guess. But I want to see this thing. The thing is, the judge never closed the case. So I don't know if I can just call and say, you know what? I just want to end all of this because she was the one that took me to court in the first place.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And I will be trying to collect.
Strawbridge home, I will collect. You're too much. We'll bring you back on after you get that judgment. Right? I'll be getting your docs. What exactly comes with the subject to? CYS letter, which Quincy had. You better have purchase agreement, power of attorney, authorization to release information document. Kwame, why did you step down? Why didn't you step up why didn't you set up an LLC as a trustee? That's a good question.
I don't know. I like the land trust. I like being able to. I like the anonymity.
You like what?
I like the anonymity of the trust than an LLC.
I think Kwame is saying he wants to put an LLC as the trustee, so that takes you off record completely.
Oh,
so the trustee of land trust.
Well, the thing is, if I were to do an LLC, I would have to wait to actually set up everything, get the articles of incorporation,
set
and
it all up. Yeah,
it's a lot simpler to just have me there and then do it.
We do it like that, yeah. You're creating. Here's the thing. I tell my inner circle, Quincy, you can wind this thing up as deep as you want to go. As you know, you can have your trustee in LLC, the beneficiary different LLC. You can have an IRA. You can layer it all up, but then you got to unwind it. Just like what happened when you went to court. What if your LLC was the trustee was an LLC? That's another layer, right?
Exactly, and I had to pay to go from the trust to me. I had to pay an additional transfer tax.
And how much was that? Another $1,000?
That was $300.
That ain't too bad. Still money though. You're throwing away.
Right.
Congratulations. Edward says, congratulations. You're going to get a man.
Thanks, Edward.
Congratulations. Did the docs work in Ohio? Yes, they work in all 50 states. Final thoughts, my brother Quincy. For people that want to buy a house subject to, they can get all my docs. Use the coupon code HOPE to the end of the month. This is the coronavirus discount. I want you to have hope, y'all. This is not going to take us out. We do not live in the spirit of fear. Hit it, Quincy.
I'm confused.
Final thoughts on people want to buy a house subject to and they scared to get out there and take action like you did.
I say go ahead and do it. I mean, the thing is, it's by knowing this information, you're a part of a very small elite group of people, and a lot of people don't understand it. So that kind of gives you a competitive edge to be able to take over these properties. I mean, I've been doing this for a little over, I probably say about almost 2 years now, and I've been able to do 3 subject to deals. And
Wow.
this was just the worst one. But once you convince people to do it, you're actually providing a service for them. So it's not always, you're not going to always have people who are going to, screw you over like I got. But I say go out and do it because, you got nothing to lose. There's a lot of money to be made. A lot of people are losing their houses.
Yep.
And this whole coronavirus thing going around, there's probably going to be a lot more people losing their houses. So,
oh man, boy, Quincy, let me ask you. I always, man, as I'm growing as a person and as an entrepreneur, I feel like some places I go, I have to shrink, and some places I go, I have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Just because your circle or the people that you're talking to don't understand subject to, does that mean you have to shrink? Does that mean that you have to shrink your world as well?
No, the thing is, there are people who do understand it. So if you're going to outgrow people, then I'd say outgrow them or speak to people who have, the capacity.
That's deep, man.
It's not hard. It's really not that hard of a concept.
What is it you think is it the belief? Is it that it's not believable, Quincy? Or what do you think holds people back?
People fear. I think people are scared of it. They're scared of the banks, and they don't realize that the banks need us more than they need the old sellers. So I think that people are scared of the notion that, the banks are going to call the due on sale clause, and you're going to be out of money. You're going to spend all this money, and they're going to come take your house back. That's what the judge told me. He said, Quincy, you might just be spinning your wheels.
Okay, I mean, is it my decision to do that?
I mean,
it's my decision to do that, right?
Yeah.
Why do people? Yeah, it's crazy. Why do they care what you're? I mean, they're like, well, you can't do that. The bank's gonna take the house. Okay, let them take it.
I'll spin my wheels all the way to the bank.
I would spin my wheels to the bank. Quincy, God bless you, man. I'm happy for you. I'm ecstatic. I mean, I'm just busting at the seams. The other 2 were fine, no problems.
The other 2, no problems at all. In fact, I actually had one of the VPs from this was what bank was this? People's Security. He called me and was like, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I noticed that the property was previously in this owner's what did he say? He said that the property was previously in pre-foreclosure, and now I'm hearing that because he called me. I told him that I was the manager, and then he was just like, "Listen, keep making your payments. If you have any problems, you can call me directly."
Unbelievable. I don't know what's going on, but as long as the payments are made, just don't even holler at me.
That's all he said.
Man. Round up. Do not live in the spirit of fear. Look at Quincy. 2 years, done 3 subject to deals, and you weren't born knowing this stuff. What made the light bulb of subject to open up for you, Quincy?
I had bad credit and high debt to income, so I was looking at ways to get a mortgage with with my situation, and I was just going on YouTube videos, and then I looked at assuming a mortgage, and then I ended up seeing your video in a suggestion, so I clicked it, and I was like, what the hell is a subject to? And I did it, and I started listening to your videos and stuff, and then paid for a phone call, bought the courses and everything, and then I just started practicing like a month after I learned it.
Implementation.
Right.
Man, I'm happy for you. All right, let me get out here and put these chicken thighs on the grill. Oh, wow.
Right.
Quincy, thank you. I'll see you soon, my friend.
Not a problem. Wash your hands, people.
Okay. Wash your hands. Peace. Round up. God bless you. I'm so excited for you. Make sure you too take a second and subscribe. All my training, everything for the rest of the month is going to be 50% off. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. I want to know, what other subject to problems are you running into when you're doing these deals? Look at Quincy. Bought a house. The seller broke in the property, and the documents saved his butt. He took those documents to court. He won. The judge gave him possession. So this subject to stuff, not only is it legal, it works. It works. Round up in all 50 states. He lives in Pennsylvania, and he's doing a deal in Jersey. So please, round up. Don't live in the spirit of fear. Invest in yourself. This time, I have never seen a time like this. I've only been in business since 2004. I'm deferring to my experts that have been in business since the 80s. So I think over the next few months is going to be a good time to pick up some real estate. Is what I'm going to do. Roundup. Okay. I love you. I will talk to you soon. I will be going live, obviously, over the next week or two because I'll be home more. But get your docs 50% off for the rest of the month. Everything's half off. Why? Coronavirus is hurting everybody, right? I'm blessed. Teflon Kris. I like that. Dragging you too much. Peace, Roundup.